Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 371 of the Direct Toucher Podcast. I'm your host, always. I'm Tyler, and joining me with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
I feel fucking good, dude.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Man, I'll tell you what. This week has been nice. First full week at the new workplace. Doing pretty well. I'm enjoying myself. And to be quite honest with you, I've been having a lot of freaking energy for some reason. I'm not too sure whether or not, change of diet or bits of exercise or whatsoever, but for the first time in a while, I feel pretty freaking good.
That's good.
But other than that, though, I've just been working all week. I haven't had too much time to invest in a lot of gaming stuff, but what I have played this week has been, I felt meaningful in that regard, so nothing really crazy or extravagant. However, I have been looking into like Pokemon stats for Red and Blue because I was legitimately curious. After I went through my solo run with Chikorita, I decided, okay, who's one of the weakest Pokemon in regards to stat wise for the old Pokemon games? So of course I go on to Cerebi.net. I check out the Pokedex, go through this little tab called stats, like full stats or whatever the hell it is. And right at the bottom was a Pokemon that kind of surprised me. Weedle. In Generation 1, Weedle is considered statistically the worst Pokemon in Red and Blue. What's hilarious about it? It only can learn two moves. It cannot learn any technical machine moves. It cannot learn anything through level up. It only has Poison Sting and String Shot. Poison Sting is I want to say like a base 30, like a base 30 power move or something. Poison Sting, in that regards. But I don't know. I was just really curious. I've been watching a whole bunch of solo runs on YouTube because honestly, the thought about it just fascinates me. I'm not one of those type of people that want to go through a Nuzlocke of a Pokemon game where I choose a Pokemon of a specific place where I'm going to, and once it fades, it dies, and whatever the type of crap. Because honestly, I'd rather have it controlled through my own element. I'd rather do it a different way that I feel more comfortable with. And so these solo runs are really fascinating to me. Like, you could take like a Pikachu inside of, say, Pokemon Yellow, not capture any other types of Pokemon to use on your team, and you can steamroll through the game. Granted, it's a lot more difficult because you have to keep in mind of certain trainers that use ground types and whatever. But, yeah, I've been looking into stuff like that. But, yeah, I'm doing pretty well. How have you been doing, Tyler?
Doing okay, same old, just, clanging and banging as always. You had spent a little too much time in the news this week, so that was, it almost got to me, Gables, almost got to me.
All the news and everything?
Yeah, I was like almost like 2015 Tyler on Twitter and Facebook, like getting mad, just reading about people being stupid, not wearing a mask, and you hear all the shit about going on, and Disney World's opening up, and going to the store, and I'm wearing a mask, and there's 8 out of 10 people aren't wearing a mask. It's just, anyways.
It is crazy, but Tyler, you got to remember, man. You got to take your breaks from social media. That regards. We all know the world's crazy. It's not going to change on a dime tomorrow. But at the same time, if you're constantly looking at things like Twitter and Facebook, you're going to get fucking depressed. You're going to get burnt out.
Yeah, well, and I'm aware. Like, I've been pretty good about it for about 5 years about getting on there and but it's like like you go on like Wikipedia to look up somebody. It's like, oh, whatever happened to this person, and you go look up this, and then it leads you to like you're looking up, I don't know, fucking some director from a movie you liked from the 90s. Like, what did this guy do since then? What's the director of Ace Ventura done in the last 30 years? And you go on and look, and then the next thing you know, you're looking up freaking Emmett Smith's stats, or you're like. Some like stupid thing.
Emmett Smith stats.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You ever done that? Like 2 hours go by and you're like looking up something completely different, random. Like
I've done that a lot, honestly, and that's mostly been because of the stupid shit that I think about. Anyway.
Yeah, but it's just like they get you. It's just like, oh man, this is highlighted right there. I gotta click on see what the fuck I'm like, and then like next thing you know, you're fucking looking up Emmett Smith's stats from 1998 season. You know what I mean? We've all been there. There's no shame in it. We've all done it. But it's just kind
Right.
of one of those things where you're looking on something on Twitter and you see something and then you're like, I made the mistake of reading the comments and then I clicked on something else and then like someone retweeted this thing and like an hour goes by and I'm like getting mad. But no, I'm doing okay. But it was I was close. But maybe something more baffling and infuriating happened this week, Gables.
And what's that?
You went to school, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When at school lunches, you had Smokey's mashed potato day, right?
Smokey's mashed potato day.
Like Smoky Links and the mashed potatoes.
Oh, Smoky Links I remember having, but maybe not as
Yeah.
mashed potatoes. But
What the fuck?
dude, I kid you not. Long story short, Gables in middle school started migrating to box lunches because of the fact that he found a fucking fingernail inside one of his hamburgers when he was eating it when he was 12 years old. You bring it up to the freaking person at the cafeteria and stuff, and he looks at him and laughs like, "Oh, hey, it's a hoof." Real story.
Okay.
And ever since then, man, it's like my mom always made my lunches, even in freaking high school. I'm like, oh, Mom, you don't have to do with that. No, I gotta make sure you don't have any fingernails in your food today.
All right. Two things.
What?
We're 371 episodes into this podcast. Over 7 years of doing this.
Yeah.
We've had countless conversations off this podcast. I'm just now hearing this story, and also the fact that your mom is one of Marge's sisters from Simpsons.
I'll tell you what, man, my mind goes to all sorts of crazy shit whenever certain situations pop up. Man, I got so many fucking stories of like my past, and it's just, and this is just one of those moments where it just randomly popped though. But for my mom, I always gave my mom like a voice, kind of like. Well, now I give her kind of like a little elderly voice. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Gabe, have yourself a good day.
I just assume you guys all play the piano in the family room and she sings. That's
Oh no. My mom's very loving, very nurturing and stuff like that. But at the same point, it's like, honestly, it's me. As a kid, I loved to make voices or even like interpret like certain things, and I fucking love doing that off and on.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. But okay, well this is baffling to me because I thought this was like a common thing, but the Smokies mashed potato thing. Because like the other day, like I said something to my parents about it. My dad's like, yeah, like when you're a kid, you get the mashed potatoes, you get the Smokies, and you like on the tray, and you put the Smokies in the mashed potatoes and make it like candles and a birthday cake.
What the candles and a birthday cake? What?
Yeah. The Smokies are the candle, the mashed potatoes is the cake. You put the Smokies in the mashed potatoes, and boom, you got a cake.
Oh,
and it was a highlight of my week in my 20s. Anyways, no, I'm kidding. Like when I was a kid.
Okay.
But my dad's like, this is, like, yeah, like, because I was like, we were trying to think of like a quick, easy meal to make, and I'm like, well, let's go up store and get mashed potatoes and some Smokies. That'd be easy. She's like, Courtney's like, what? I'm like, mashed potatoes and Smokies. She's like, okay, cool. And I'm like, all right, whatever. That was weird. So I got them, and she's like, went to go put them in the slow cooker with barbecue sauce. I was like, ooh, what are you doing? She's like, I'm gonna make a barbecue. No. She's like, well, how do you cook? She had no idea. You just cook them on the stove. It was baffling. I'm like, what? How does he not know this? What? Am I losing my mind right now?
Tyler,
apparently, maybe it's just me. Am I the crazy one?
No, I don't think you're the crazy one. I think that you had like a little family tradition or something with maybe some you used to do or some maybe with your parents or whatsoever and stuff. But I've never heard this before in my life.
Fuck.
You put Smokies inside the potatoes,
Yeah.
the mashed potatoes, and like have like a little birthday cake.
Yeah, then you scoop them out and you eat them.
Huh.
Amazing. It was the only good meal at school other than cheese bread day. The garlic cheese bread. Oh, God. Garlic cheese bread. It's probably ass now, but when you're a kid, the food's so disgusting there. It's like anything that tastes kind of like food is okay. But, fuck. I got some apologizing to do later. But I thought, I was like, you're crazy. What the fuck? I don't know. Okay, well then, that blew up my face. Other than that, though, we went to GameStop the other day. I bought another action, I don't know, statue, I guess. I don't know if I call
About a
him.
statue.
A Solid Snake actually.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it was cool. So it was like on sale. It was like normally it's like $90. It was on sale for 50, so I bought that and had like a bunch of like clothes and socks and shit that were cheap. So we bought a bunch of shit there. So that was cool. And what was funny was I was there. The guy's like, you have like a bunch of games pre-ordered that have been out for a long time, and you have money down on them. And I'm like, I do. He started naming off like, oh, you have Let's Go Pikachu and Madden from 3 years ago and Battlefield 1. And I'm like, the fuck? Why would I pre-order some of these games? And then I remembered like a few years ago, I went in and like I sold some games, and they had like this deal every time for every game you sold in, they put a free $5 down for you on a
Okay.
game you're choosing. Basically, ways to get you to pre-order games
Oh
and shit.
no.
So they put like they would put a $5 down for you for every game you pre-ordered. So I'm guessing these are like the games I picked to like pre-order and shit. Like I had like what was it? He's like one game I had $10 down on, and it wasn't even in the system anymore. I'm like, okay. So yeah, so it looked it up. I had like $50 in like random games pre-ordered, and I was able to fucking almost pay off. I was like, I was talking about like I was interested in that new Crash Bandicoot game, but I didn't want to put the $60
Yeah.
down. $60
Right.
is a little rich for it. And I'm like, oh well, okay, well fuck yeah. I was started thinking, okay, well I'll just get. So I pre-ordered and paid off. New Crash Bandicoot comes out in October, so that's gonna be
All
exciting.
right.
And then I went ahead and I did the digital pre-order for the new Tony Hawk game. So
Hey,
that's
there
what.
you go. Cover your
Yeah.
bases.
Yeah, it's only $40, and that also gives you the you get to play the demo in August. So that's the main reason you get to play the warehouse level. So I'm gonna check
Ah,
it out. If I don't like it, boom, I'll just cancel it. Not a big deal. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on with me. Yeah, I thought I had something else, but no, that's pretty much what's going on with me, Gables. Uh, but I'm still baffled by the whole smoke healing thing. I thought everybody did it. This is news to me. I'm gonna have to make some calls and find out about this. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this. Uh, but moving on to what this show is about, video games. A decent amount of news going on this week, Gables. We're gonna start off today's Sunday, so we're gonna start off with the big news that happened today. We had the Ubisoft Forward, as they're calling it. It's basically like their direct, their state of play, their inside Xbox, whatever you want to call it. Um, so I don't know if we want to break this down one by one, or I could just cover everything and we'll just talk about it from a broad perspective. Um,
let's go ahead and just cover one by one.
okay. I'm not gonna do this in any order. Maybe I will. Let me see if I can find the order it came in. Nope, no, there's no order. So the big thing how it ended off, but it leaked a few days ago, and PlayStation Hong Kong leaked it. PlayStation's like awful at keeping secrets. I swear to God, they're like the new Walmart Canada of keeping secrets. Like you can't trust them. But
She.
they leaked the Star Wars Maverick game and all this. So Far Cry 6 was leaked out a few days ago, but they had the release date and everything. I think it's like I want to say February 18th or something
Right.
like that of next year. And it's gonna have I'm not gonna be able to say. I'm gonna butcher his name. Giancarlo Esposito. He's the bad guy Gus from Breaking Bad. Is the main villain in this game. We didn't get any gameplay or anything. It was just it's like about a 4 minute scene of him with the child. And the rumor is that's Voss from Far Cry 3. So this might be a prequel to Far Cry 3. But I don't know, Gables. What's your excitement level for a new Far Cry game?
After that trailer, I'm very interested, honestly. I could see the comparisons people are making in terms of Voss in comparison to the kid in and of himself. Hell, there's even like that freaking scar, like right
Yep.
over that birthmark, right over the eyebrow, like Voss had from Far Cry 3.
Yeah.
Not sure if it's 100% certain, but at the same time, there was enough intrigue in regards to Far Cry 6 to where I want to know more about it. Because the concept of it seems pretty cool, in my opinion. I am invested inside that concept.
Yeah. Um, I'm at the same level with you, but I realized later on, like I was sitting and watching it, like I was like I got chills. I'm like, oh fuck yeah! But it's because I love Breaking Bad. Is one of my favorite, probably 3 or 4 favorite TV shows of all time, and he's one of the best characters in that show. He's one of the best villains in TV history. So it's like he's so good at being a bad guy, and it's just like, oh man, I just want to kill this guy already. It's like this 2 minutes we have with this guy. I'm like, I just want him to die, and I don't. But my thinking after a while, I'm like, well, fuck, that's like, I mean, they're really good at making bad guys. And it's like, Voss was like awesome. Like when Far Cry 3 came out, it wasn't when that came out. That was like the first of its kind of that kind of game.
Yeah,
Um, so that was the excitement for that one. But there's like Voss ended up being the thing that everybody talked about later on. But then it's like 4 with I think it was Yang is how you say his name. Uh, like
Yang
same he was
Min or
Yang Min
whatsoever.
I think something like that. Yeah, and then like Far Cry 5 with the family. It's like they've always um, done a good job of selling you on these bad guys. But it's like I thought Far Cry 4 the bad guy was okay. He was better than most bad guys in games, but I just didn't love him in that way, like I did in 3. I thought 5 was like that family. I didn't care for. They were okay, but it's just like my main issue with the game was the game itself. I didn't find it all that fun, and it was just like doing anything in that game was just a bitch to do because you're constantly being stopped when you're on a mission, not just the mission the game gives you, but like you have a goal that you want to do in this game, and it's just like you're constantly being stopped from doing that thing. It just became frustrating. And it's like I also didn't realize how many fucking Far Cry games we've had in like the last 8 years. Since 2012, we had 3, Primal, 4. We've had Far Cry 5, and then we had the Far Cry game from last year that was like
New
after
Dawn. Yeah.
New Dawn. Yeah, so it's like we had. So this would be the 6th I can't talk Far Cry game, and just over 8 years. It's like I haven't played all of them, but it's just I want to. I need to like. I love that idea, and like it's definitely a great selling point. They're really good. Like I said, they're really good at selling these awesome bad guys. And if it is Voss as a kid, that's cool too. But it's like I want to see what this game is. I need to see this game. I need to see if they're changing things up. If it's more of like what we're used to from Ubisoft. Like what is it outside of the bad guy? What's gonna make me like want to play this game? Like I said though, like having Gus in there is a great selling point for me, but it makes it very tempting. But I want to know what's different about Far Cry because I think when
Right.
5 came out, I think a lot of people like it was one of my most disappointing games. I think of 2018, I want to say, and I think a lot of people came out that felt that way when it came out. It's like, yeah, the bad guys are pretty good, but they're like the rest of the game is. Meh. It's like if you played a Far Cry game, you've done that already. So I don't know. I mean, what I guess what's your like history with the Far Cry games?
History with the Far Cry games. I've tried out Far Cry 3 and I've also tried out Primal. However, I've never beaten a Far Cry 3, just a Far Cry game in general. I
Yeah,
have Far Cry 3 downloadable on the PS4. I think I have the 360 version, honestly.
yeah,
So, here's the thing, though. That's the game. If I'm going to go and pick anything in regards to playing a Far Cry game at this moment in time, it's going to be 3, and it's going to
yeah,
be all the way through.
yeah. Well, like, I think Far Cry 3 is like less than $5 on PS4 right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's pretty badass. But I don't know. I'm definitely it's a wait and see approach for me with Far Cry 6. I mean they did. Oh, they also announced there's gonna be a Ubisoft Forward. There's gonna be a second one sometime later this year. No idea when, but just sometime this year. The next thing we got shown off was Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We actually got real gameplay this time, not the thing we got promised in back in May for the third party Xbox event. But it leaked the night before that it's coming out November 17th, which is 2 days before Cyberpunk. But it's coming to everything, even Stadia at launch. Um, so yeah, I mean you got some gameplay on this one, Gables. Where you at with new Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
Gameplay sort of reminded me of something very similar to past Assassin's Creed games, obviously. Some of the biggest influences I'm seeing is from Odyssey, from the vibes that I'm
Yeah,
seeing. But in regards to certain moves, certain aspects of Valhalla, there are some things that I do like about it. Like there were some. It looks like, to me, it looks like they borrowed heavily from For Honor in terms of
hmm.
certain conceptual things, like certain, not just certain stances, but certain attacks. Because I can recognize some bits of what I played from For Honor earlier on this year, and it really felt like, even with the whole Norse mythology like setting in that regards, that they may wanted to try to implement something from that series onto Assassin's Creed. But yeah, there was some attacks and some things where it kind of, that means like, what, am I watching Assassin's Creed or am I watching an evolved form of For Honor here? Because some of the combat moves I kind of felt were very similar. But that ended there once I saw a whole bunch of other things. I did like the idea that when you're exploring throughout the environment, you're going to come across random bosses. That
Hmm.
boss battle that you see with one of those sisters, those witch doctor like sisters or something, where you see you see her fight this boss, right, and using all this poison as an illusion and all that other stuff. It was very atmospheric for a boss battle. I liked that. I liked the idea that you had this epic boss battle out of nowhere. There really wasn't too much of a build up in regards coming to there, but at the same point, I thought it was I thought it was interesting that you can have those type of moments with Valhalla. I also like the fact that they are going back to what made Assassin's Creed 4 bearable in terms of like when you were riding from place to place on the ship, with the reintroduction of some of your crewmates will sing songs or tell stories in regards to in between moments and stuff while you're transferring from one place to another. I like that touch. I thought that the whole aspect of their quote unquote rap battles was kind of perplexing, and at that point, just kind of off the wall. Like, okay, what the fuck is this, and why, and why is it that I'm that invested in seeing how this is going to progress? So, what was your opinion when you saw that? Where they initially you chose these lines and verses, and they initially titled them as rap battles.
I, I don't know, man. I feel like seeing that and seeing everything, I feel like we're just throwing shit in this game and seeing what sticks. It definitely could be like the rap battle, whatever you want to call it thing. Could be fun, could be cool, but it's just I I, I don't know, man. I have a lot of mixed emotions about the new Assassin's Creed, but I feel like I'm that way every time with Assassin's Creed, and it's been very hit or miss for me about whether or not I'm gonna be really into it. Like looked at like Origins, I was excited. I was actually excited to jump back into Assassin's Creed games because it's been a couple years.
Right.
They've had a bad string of luck there with Unity, and what was the one after the London one with the twins? I can't remember what that one's called, but like it was just like it was okay. Assassin's Creed 3 was it wasn't very good, but Origins came out. It was new, it was different, but I didn't really care much for the setting. Or the main character. Then Odyssey came out, blew me away. But my main issue with that game was there was too big and there was too much shit going on. So it was kind of like OCD anxiety for me, where it's just like I felt like I had that need to like tackle everything. It finally I had to just like I had to sit down and just power through and beat the main game. And this one's gonna be excuse me smaller than Origins, which I'm happy about. But I don't know. I I feel like the more this game these like more we make these, the more bigger they make them. The open world part of it, they make them. It's like we lose the assassins part of Assassin's Creed in a sense, where it's like I liked Odyssey, and like I said, I didn't really care much from Origins, but it seems like the further we go, the less Assassin's Creed it is. Like yeah, we still have the the knife and or the blade, like the hidden blade and all that, but it's just like we're like I don't know. I just like the thing that I loved about Assassin's Creed was the assassin part, and it's like it's still there to a certain extent, but and I feel like they definitely need to make changes to the overall franchise, and because it was very like the mission styles got very repetitive over time. But I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of where like the franchise is going in it so far. Like I like it, but I mean, it's stupid for me to say because I loved Odyssey, but it's like I loved Odyssey the game, not so much the Assassin's Creed part of Odyssey. If that makes any sense. Like it could have just been called Odyssey, and I would have really enjoyed that game. But I don't know. It's really gonna depend on that main character. Like I loved like I forgot the female's name. I picked her. I picked her in the Odyssey. She was a great character, and I was interested in the story, and they had a decent actual main story. But it's like I want to know more about. I think it's Igor's his name. Is it Igor? Or Icor? I can't remember. I can't remember what the name of that guy is or girl. I don't know. But it's like the thing I didn't like about the main thing I didn't like about Odyssey was like the big battles. It just felt like kind of like stupid and like kind of tacked on, and it seems like that was like their big selling point in this gameplay we got was the big battle stuff. And I understand like that, it's easy to sell people like that. They show them like all these big battle situations. It looks badass, it looks cool, but it's like you said, like the For Honor, it reminds you of For Honor, and it's like that's stuff I'm not sure I like too much. It's like that's not necessarily what I want because that's not really the strong point of the Assassin's Creed game is the combat. It's not like the hand to hand like direct combat is not the strong suit. It's better than what it was for sure in the older games, but it's not the strong suit of that game for me. But I don't know. I mean, did you look at this? You think this might be a game you pick up this year? Or is this something you're gonna take the wait and see approach on?
This is definitely a game I'm going to be waiting and seeing before I initially bite the bullet and buy it. I did like a lot of what I saw from it, but at the same point, I kind of feel like that this is more of the same in regards to say what Assassin's Creed Odyssey was doing. But because I have Odyssey that I still have yet to play, I want to go through that first before I want to invest inside of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe a few months after the game releases, maybe who knows when. But it's just a game that's not on my top priority list right now.
yeah. I this definitely be like I mean like I said like like it there's I loved Odyssey, but I didn't love the Assassin's Creed part of Odyssey, and I feel the same way about this one. But so what I've seen so far, but it's like if it comes out and there's great reviews are great, and I like what people are hearing. It's definitely like a game like normally like Odyssey, a game I didn't have any interest in because of Origins, and the past Assassin's Creed games. But the reviews, what people were saying is like completely turned me around. And I went out and bought it, but I loved it. But the biggest issue for this game is the fact it comes out 2 days before Cyberpunk, and it's like right now it's like I
Yeah,
can't.
that's a deal breaker right there. I'd much rather get Cyberpunk than Assassin's Creed Valhalla if it's like 2 days apart.
Yeah, like those are gonna be two massive games. They're gonna take up dozens of hours. So it's like Cyberpunk. I mean, there's not much that we know of right now that could debunk Cyberpunk for me as like top priority for that time period, unless there's like Metal Gear Solid 6 that we don't know about, or like Spider Man comes out that time. It's like that's gonna be like for gaming wise, that's gonna be my main priority. So um, yeah, I don't know, but I don't know, like so wait and see. That's definitely. I mean, if it comes out and the people reviews are good, it's definitely a game I'll pick up later on down the road. Maybe like after if I beat Cyberpunk, that I'll pick it up. It might be cheaper then, but it's yeah, like I said, it's not top priority, but I'm hopeful. I'd love it for that to be cool because I love that world and that style, the Norse mythology stuff. Like that is something I like a lot. So I'd be okay having more of it. But next off was shown was Hyperscape, which was also because Ubisoft is like they're a goddamn like sinking ship right now with the shit going on in their corporate office, but also with when it comes to keeping secrets because there's holes everywhere. We know everything. Like we knew about Assassin's Creed Valhalla a year and a half ago. Um, and this leaked out like 2 weeks before it was supposed to be like shown off. And I guess people in the industry have been playing it quietly for previews. And then there was you can like watch streams about a week ago. But this is Ubisoft's version of a battle royale. It's now an open beta, but it's on PC only as of today. Um, there's it looks more like a fast-paced punk style. You have all kinds of weapons you can use. There's like abilities like you can use like a bouncy ball, or you can slide. You have you have God, what is it called? The jetpacks, and you have like abilities you can use. You can jump up buildings and things like that. But I don't know. It just seems like it looks like it's a different style attempt at a um, battle royale game, and all the big companies have theirs, so it makes sense that Ubisoft has theirs now. But I don't know. I check them out a little bit. I've played a little bit of Apex. I've gotten into Fortnite for a little bit. I tried PUBG. But like, I'm not an online shooter kind of guy. I know you are a little bit more than I am to a certain extent, but do you foresee yourself jumping into start checking anything out like this at all?
That was the part of this conference where tuned out. I was not interested in anything that they were showing in regards to it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I've already seen a bunch of different games similar to this style, and on top of that, I don't see myself investing any time in it.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, even when it comes to consoles, I might download it. I might play it, just to check it out when it first comes out. But I don't foresee that. I mean, like I said, I'm not an online kind of guy and don't really get into the battle royale stuff very much. But it definitely like if I wanted to like jump into one, like that one with the abilities, like that one would it makes me more interested than like a Fortnite or a like a Apex when like I seen those first come out. It's like I don't know shit about that. But I mean, if I were looking at all threes came out on the same day, like this might be the one I was more intrigued in to check out right first, or like like Warzone or something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't see myself jumping in and putting any real time into it. And then we had Watchdog Legions, which was originally supposed to come out, I believe, in February of this year, but it's now coming out October 29th of this year. We got a pretty long gameplay session of it. It shows off more playable characters you can use and different ways you can go into a building or a situation and how you can tackle it, whether you want to go undercover or go in guns blazing or be stealthy or use tech or whatever you. They showed you like how to handle this situation in multiple different ways. Um, I don't know. I mean, I I, I thought Watch Dogs One was was a good first step for what that franchise was. I've talked about it before, and it's like I liked the idea of the game. The game itself was okay, but like Watch Dogs Two, I loved, and the more I see this, the like as of right now, I just don't like. I'm not sold on the idea of having to recruit people. It's something I hated. Like, it's like those Assassin's Creed did it too, where it's like after the third one, like you had to start like recruiting like people, assassins into your group. You didn't have to, but it was a part of the game you can do. I just didn't like that idea, and like this one's like, but you still played as Ezio, and like this one, like you play as all these different characters, and each one has different abilities and stuff like that. It's just like I don't know if that's something if they like I necessarily want to do, especially if they have like their own like skill trees and shit like that. It's like I don't really want to do that. It's like that's not something I really look forward to, enjoy doing. But I don't know. I mean, you played the Watchdog games too, Gables. What's your thoughts on Watch Dogs Legion?
Honestly, I haven't played anything in terms of Watch Dogs,
Oh,
but
I thought you played the first one.
no, I never played the first one,
Oh, okay. I
honestly.
thought you did. Okay.
Nah. But with the gameplay that we initially saw from Ubisoft today, I like the aspect of the different variety of how you can complete a mission. Recruiting, we don't know exactly how that's going to play out. We don't know whether or not the skill tree is going to be in regards to each individual person or if it's a general skill tree in regards to specific types of categories of operatives you get in regards to, say, one of them's a hacker class, the other one is like a melee class or something, or one is completely like a spy class or whatsoever. Those type of operatives. If it's skill trees in regards to that, I'm fine with. But if it's sort of similar to how previous games, say like a Metal Gear Portable Ops, where you have specific people that you can recruit, but they only have incremental little upgrades over the last person that you go through. I mean, that shit I'm not a fan of. And I hope that's not the case with Watchdog Legions. However, from what I saw, it seems okay, but I have not seen anything so far about Watch Dogs Legion is going to concrete get me to buy it day one. When
Yeah.
essentially, yeah,
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. It's like but it's like I have the same kind of feelings about all like the big three games that show off, Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed, and Far Cry, where it's just like I'm not sold on them, but I'm also not like shutting the door on them either. Where it's like I want them to, I want these things. I hope they're good and people enjoy them, and I hope I can enjoy them as well. But it's just like what I've seen from all these. It's just like I'm not a fan of. But I think more for me than general is just like they're different style of games, but it's like they're all the kind of the same game though. Where it's like we know the Ubisoft style, and I
yep,
think it's more of me being burnt out on the Ubisoft. Like at first, like you talked to me like the beginning of when we started doing the show 7 years ago, and like for the first few years of the show, it's like I was like almost turning into a Ubisoft fanboy. It was like anything they made, I loved. Like the new, I was always the new Assassin's Creed, the new Far Cry, the new Watch Dogs. Like I always look forward to them, and because I love that style. I think it's also because like a lot of other games have copied that style as well, and have found better ways of using it and expanding upon it and growing it. And it's like I feel like they're a step behind of like what they used to do, and they did a good job of changing things up and making things a little bit different. But it's like I'm not. I just find that other people have taken their style and done it better and changed it for the better. And it's like
Yes.
I mean I hope I really am like I always talk about like because Extra Life is the first Saturday of November. I think it's like November 4th or 5th this year. Um, and Watch Dog Legions comes out on October 29th, and that's the first thing I thought of. Like, oh man, I hope I want. I mean, for Extra Life too, I'm just like, I mean, I hope this game comes out and it's good, and people like it, and I like the idea of it, because then I'd be the perfect Extra Life game where it's like I've had multiple Extra Lives where it's like I played Assassin's Creed or I played a Watch Dogs game or I played like or not Far Cry I guess, but like I played a lot of Ubisoft games and I've killed good chunks of my Extra Life for me, multiple Extra Lives for me. So I look at that as like potentially being my Extra Life game, but I don't know. I don't know. I need to see what other people are saying about it. There's some previews out there now. People that come out after the event. I haven't looked at those and see what people are saying about them. Um, but I feel like if it's more of the same or what I expect it's going to be, I'm not. It's I mean maybe if more of the same for Valhalla, and it's I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess I really don't know what I want from these. Like I think that's what I want. Is like I want something a little different. Like they have some good concrete ideas, but I want them to make some foundational changes and upgrades for the better for their games, and maybe not be so samey. Um, I don't know, but that was pretty much the bulk of the. Well, there was the Brawlhalla thing, and there's that Tom Clancy's like Ghost. I don't know what the fuck it was called. What they had Splinter
Ghost
Cell.
Recon.
Whatever. Yeah, for the mobile game. But that was pretty much it. That was the whole event. It was about like 45, 50 minutes. What was it? I don't know. I guess we pretty much already talked, like in a broad way, talked about it, but I mean, what was your overall thoughts coming out of it?
Kind of boring and expected, to be perfectly honest with you. We already knew what games were going to be shown. I mean, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, we already knew that was going to be shown. We already knew that Watchdog Legions was going to be shown. Their whole Fortnite esque, battle royale game really
Hyperscape.
wasn't too impressed. Yeah, plus the whole aspect of there being a Splinter Cell mobile game was lukewarm at best. Honestly, if I had to give it a rating, it probably would have been like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I think my main issue is like it kind of felt like a EA Play in a sense, where it's like every year we know what we're gonna get from an EA Play or the EA's event, but we always like, oh man, what if they have this? We always hype, but it's like anything we get, like it's like, and Nintendo announces the Direct, and they'll say we're only gonna talk about this, but it's like, but what if they don't? And like we always,
Huh.
they'll like even with the thing they had earlier this week about the, like, hey, was it Way Forward is gonna announce their first to them time making this for this franchise, and everybody's like, it's Metroid or it's Star Fox, and it's like, no, it's a third party game. Everybody's like, oh my god, what if it's this? And they try to like keep everybody's like hype tempered, and we still went crazy, and it turned out to be a Bakugan. Is it Bakugan game or whatever?
It was a Bakugan game,
Bakugan.
which
I don't know.
honestly, that's a clear example of fans overhyping them fucking themselves.
Yeah, but I feel like it's just like it's kind of like Nintendo has an issue sometimes with that too, though. Where it's like they hyped up the Pokemon event a couple weeks ago and it ended up being that MOBA game. Where it's like that's
That's
on you.
true.
That's on you.
Yeah.
That's not on us. That's on you. Like you guys fucked that up. Um,
In that case, I kind of felt with the whole Pokemon thing that was definitely on Nintendo, but in this case, where they had the Paper Mario Origami King stuff and then have Way Forward showcase a third party game that they're creating that they've worked on now for the first time with that Bakugan up, I thought fans set themselves up for failure on that one.
yeah, yeah.
Personally.
I probably yeah, but it's and especially when they came out and they like said later on, no, it's the third party thing.
They
Like
had
that
to
was
come out because people were thinking that it was a first party game.
yeah, but I mean that's also they probably should have came out right away and said that instead of like, hey, they're making a exclusive game for us. It's like, oh my god, what if it's this? And I mean, they could have worded that better too. But going back to the Ubisoft thing, where it's like I said, I feel like very much like a EA Play thing. But you get hyped and you hope it's something more. And it's like the thing, my problem is like the things I was hoping would be there. Like the thing I'm most interested from them is like Gods and Monsters, which is even called Gods and Monsters anymore. The Breath of the Wild ripoff game they teased last year, and it's like that was supposed to come out at the beginning of the year of this year, and quietly got delayed, and we haven't heard anything since, other than Stadia accidentally released a demo on their service for like an hour, like a month ago, and it's like it came out. It's not even called Gods and Monsters anymore. There's a little bit of gameplay out there. It's pretty much like a straight rip off of Breath of the Wild, which I'm okay with because I really enjoyed Breath of the Wild. But like I think it was like I was hoping. I think the issue we have with EA, the same thing with EA Play, where it's like, we're gonna get these, but you're hoping we get something else too. And it's like, I don't know. Like I think I enjoyed this more than EA Play because I have hope for the games that they've shown off here. Like we actually got games shown at this, where like EA Play was just like, hey, we got more Apex coming, and here's more Sim stuff, and here's some art from these games that are coming soon, and also Skate's happening, but we haven't even put a team together yet. And it's like we actually got these games are coming out all fairly soon in the next 6-7 months, and some are out today, and it's like so there's a little more to that, and it's like all three of these games, the three big ones they showed off were like these could be fun, these could be good, and like I hope that we these are good games, but I don't know, I'm more hopeful for their Ubisoft Forward later this year, and I'm still holding that hope that we get the Mario plus Rabbids too. That's the ultimate dream, Gables. It's gonna happen. It's got to happen, right? Am I crazy?
Yes.
I don't
Courtney
think you're
just
crazy
said
for
yes.
thinking that.
But thank you. Also, Courtney, by the way, he had never heard of the Smokey and mashed potato thing either.
See, I knew it wasn't on me. Don't do it; it'll make you sick.
She got diarrhea from it,
Oh
so.
my God.
Well, that's something I didn't want to know about, but that's fine, I guess.
I'm not editing it
Not
out
for her,
either.
but still.
I'm gonna make that the title of the podcast. Courtney got diarrhea.
No.
Yeah, I won't do it. She'll hurt me. Help me.
Strange mud.
Strange Mud. That's a good title. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just give me it. God damn it! Like that game was awesome. It's still the best Switch game, Gables. I don't care what anybody fucking says. It's the best Switch game. Clubhouse. Shut up. Shut your mouth.
Oh my gosh.
She said it was terrible. I don't know if she's talking about the Smokies or Mario plus Rabbids, but it's both of them are blasphemous statements. Hey guys, Tyler here. So we recorded really long, so I decided to split this up into 2 episodes. So obviously this part is out now, and check back out in a couple days, and we'll have the second part of this where we talk about everything else happened in gaming this week with all the Xbox news, some Nintendo stuff, and then Gables finally played Last of Us Part 2. So we'll check back out in a couple days, see what he says about that. Thanks guys. Bye.